All right, so we still have some people joining, but for the sake of time and everyone's time today that they've got scheduled for this, we're going to go ahead and kick it off. This session is being recorded, so those that are joining and those that are joining late will get a copy of the recording. So thank you all for joining this afternoon. I am pleased to introduce to you Sylvain Mancuso, who is the CEO of Concussion Heroes. He is also the owner of Mancuso Osteopathy here in the Moncton area, and I am delighted to have him present to us today his Play Ready protocol. With that, I'm going to pass it over to you, Sylvain.
Hi everyone. Okay, it's the first time I do this presentation, and I don't know exactly how long it's going to take. First, I want to say thank you to Catherine to invite me to this webinar. And I'm going to begin with the presentation. Okay, and everyone is seeing the keynote?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
First, I'm going to introduce me. I'm Sylvain Mancuso, founder of Concussion Heroes, and the first of everything, I'm the father of two kids. A girl, she's the artist of the family, she's 11, and my son is the hockey player, and he's 13. And my professional background, I'm a French physiotherapist at the beginning, an osteopath. And in all my career, I follow a lot of sport teams in different sports: rugby, hockey, tennis, football, soccer, many things. And in 2011, when I arrived in Canada, I began to see there was a lot of concussion, and I was very surprised about the number, and I met Graham Black, who is the athletic therapist of the Wildcats, and we begin to talk about concussion and all the issue they have in the team. And my biggest question was if they do anything before the season or during the season to try to lower the risk of concussion. And he said, no, we don't do anything because we can't do anything before. And I said, okay, maybe we can try to do something. And we begin in 2012 to follow the team of the Wildcats with, the name was not the Play Ready protocol, but just try to understand how a concussion can happen and how we can try to help the player to avoid it. And since 7 years now, we reduced the number of concussion in the team by 80%, because the average of the concussion in the team is 0.8 concussion each year, when we compare with the 5.3 concussion in the average every year in each team in the Quebec Major Junior League. And the first things I'm going to define what is the concussion. I'm pretty sure many people knows, but we call that a medium traumatic brain injury. There is two main causes for the concussion. The first one is the direct blow to the head. Any shock you are going to receive directly to your head. And the second one is any shock to the body, and it's more a whiplash type injury, because the head is jolting and it's a movement. Then your head is going to move back and forward or left and right. And the consequence of the jolting, there is two different schools. There is one who say that the brain is going to eat the skull, but when you see the anatomy, there is a lot of liquid around, and you can't compress liquid. And at the end, the other school said the brain is doing like Jello. I'm pretty sure many people eat Jello, and when you move the jello, you see the jello moving like that, and the brain is close to that. And there is some study show that the brain is doing a rotation on him, and it's why the biggest issue and the biggest damage after a concussion is in the middle of the brain and not outside of the brain. There is no blood test, MRI, or CT scan who can tell us that you have a concussion. The only test we can use is the SCAT5. It's a test to try to evaluate the balance, the cognition, how the patient is feeling about headache and things like that. And the symptom, often they evaluate the fatigue, some nausea, sleep disorder. The biggest one is headache. But the best tool that everyone will need to have when you have kids playing sport or you follow team, it's the CRT5. It's a concussion recognition tool. It was made by the FIFA 5-6 years ago. We are waiting, I think, for a new one, but because normally there was this year there was a big symposium about concussion, but with all the COVID-19, I don't know if the symposium will happen, and we are waiting for that because many studies since few years was made to try to understand better concussion and how to assess that better. And the name is CRT5, and you can find that online. And I'm going maybe to send a link after, then you can directly see what the type, and you have all the information about the symptom, the red flag too, because you need to know what to do if there is any big concussion. After the concussion, there is a few treatment to do. There is still not a big consensus about the treatment. There is some people who say the kids needs to rest, other needs say then they need to go back to exercise. It's still a little bit foggy about that. We don't know, there is no big consensus on that. And the big things is the sequel you can have after a concussion. The biggest and the worst one is the chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, and it's the brain is losing the gray matter inside, and there is a lot of story about people changing behavior, depression, and that the worst case scenario. But the biggest thing is the concussion can be a life changer, because for a kid, for example, he could lose his grade, he could lose his social life, he can go to school, he can follow his sport. It's a pretty bad things. And it's my biggest concern about that. It's the consequences of a concussion for kids and young athletes. And for Concussion Heroes and me, we believe that the best way to treat a concussion is to avoid one. The idea behind that is the sentence we say, it's the straw break the camel bag. But what was in the camel bag before? Because studies showed that two players received the same shock on the head. They put some accelerometer on the helmet, and one has concussion sign and the other one has no concussion with the same sign. And the idea is say, okay, the helmet is the same, the shock is the same, but the athlete under the helmet is not the same. What the athlete has before, and why one is going to do a concussion and the other one is not doing one. And the study showed that everything you have before a concussion is going, one, to increase the risk of concussion, but is going to increase the recovery time too. Okay. What we do at Concussion Heroes, our goal is to lower the risk of concussion and change the statu quo about concussion, because like I said at the beginning, many people think that there is nothing to do before, but all the focusing in Concussion Heroes is focusing on the athlete and be sure that is going to be play ready. The first things, if I talk about what I do in my everyday practice, I'm an osteopath, and I'm working with patients on one-on-one session, and my work is to do a complete assessment of the patient and do what I do with the Wildcats every year. It's we do a complete assessment of the player, and we treat all some key points in the body who can increase the risk of concussion. Is starting from the toe to the head. It's a complete checkup of the athlete to be sure that is in good shape to, one, avoid the shock, or two, to resave the shock, because the idea to avoid the concussion is that, one, you are in good shape to resave it, or two, you are in good shape to be able to avoid the impact. And because it's hard to see everyone and we want to touch the more people we can, what we develop is the online play ready protocol to lower the number of concussion. The idea with this online protocol is to touch the more people, and it's something that kids can do at home. And I will talk to you more precisely after. On the website concussionheroes.com, we focus on three things, because we think that everyone can be an actor to try to shape a better future for our kids. And everyone is, the first thing is the parents and player. For them, we have a blog with some advice about good behavior, what to eat, what to drink, try to give some advice about what do you need, how do you need to sleep, or exactly how long you need to sleep, what do you need to avoid before a game, for example. The second big actor for us is the coach, because there is a study show that kids are just listening parents at 50%, friends and teacher it's 60%, and coach is 97%. And the idea to try to give more tool to the coach is because kids are going to listen what the coach is saying. And at the same time, we develop a player agreement between coach and player to help them to have a better behavior before, during, and after the game, and in the everyday life too. And we share some advice about on ice or on field awareness, because the idea is kids need to be aware what's going on around, and if they don't learn that during the practice, it's not during the game with stress and the pressure to perform, they will change their habit. And we try to give some tools to the coach to help them, to give them more advice about space awareness. And the last people we want to touch, or other people that we want to touch, is the therapist. And we are going to put online a protocol, the online course, certification than physio, chiro, massage therapist, and osteopath could take, and anyone who could be interesting to try to understand and how you can evaluate your patient and treat the right area to help the player to be play ready. And now I'm going to talk a little bit more about the online play ready protocol. Sorry, I need to. Okay, the online play ready protocol is on the website. It's something that people can download for the kids to do some exercise at home. It's a human-centric protocol. The idea is to increase the health of the player, to help him to be play ready. And we are going to focus on many different points, that strength, proprioception, and visual ability, because the vision, for example, is your first source of information. And for that, it's like everything, you can train it. The protocol is an online protocol, like I said, and it's on 3 weeks. Every week you have some video, some exercise, and PDF that you can download, and kids can do that from home. And at the 4th week, we give a routine that kids can follow to keep them in shape and still be in shape to be play ready. And the last part of the protocol is we give some good behavior about what they need to eat. We give some special meal, for example, what they need to eat 3 hours before the game, 1 hour before the game, what they need to drink during the game, and after, what they need to drink, what they need to do too, about stretching, about warm up, about the sleeping habit that I said at the beginning we give to the parents. And the idea of the Play Ready protocol is to try to have kids in a better shape to try to avoid concussion, because for us, have an ankle sprain or knee sprain, you can still go into school. But if you have a concussion and you can't, you have big light sensitivity or noise sensitivity after the concussion, you can't go to school anymore. And the consequence can be a little bit more big for the kids. And it's why we try to develop Concussion Heroes, is to help more people to be involved to the before concussion and not only after concussion. For us, the health of the kids is very important, and I think it's the better way to shape a better future for them. And I just want to finish with a small sentence that Benjamin Franklin say an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And it's I think it's exactly that. Just try to be more proactive than just reactive, like Catherine is doing with Thermography Clinic. Thanks for your attention. I maybe speak a little bit fast, but if you have any question, I'm here.
All right, thank you, Sylvain. While we wait, again, everybody that's on the call, if you want to go ahead and post your question, I know that there are 2, so any additional questions, please feel free to do so. And before I turn over to the questions, Sylvain, I must say, as a parent of a son who was in motocross racing for 10 years, I can assure you, I wish that we had had a protocol like this, because I can tell you, watching those young people race those motorbikes and seeing the amount of concussions that have come out of that sport as well, and then having friends that have children in hockey, and just seeing what they've gone through as well with concussions, it certainly is an impact to the children's lives for sure. So this is fantastic work that you're doing, and I'm so thankful that we can get to share this with people. So let me go ahead and just jump right into the questions. So again, if there are questions, please feel free to post your questions either in the chat room or in the question and answer box. So first question is the online protocol. Is there a cost for people to use that off of your website?
Yeah, the cost, we try to keep that very low, because the idea is to try to touch the more people we can. It's $49 US. Okay. And because we just put that online, there is a 25% rebate with a code. The name of the code is LAUNCH25, and yeah, it's $50 US.
Oh, okay. All right, excellent. So thank you for that. And that's directly right off of the concussionhero.com website, correct?
Yeah. You go online and you can see the there is the parents and player, and you have all the information there. We're still working on the website to try to improve it, and I learn about that. You know, it's not my field, but I think it's a learning curve. Like
absolutely,
I like to say.
All good things continue to evolve, right? So
yeah.
We appreciate it. All right, and then the second question is, when will the certification be ready for other therapists that you mentioned?
The idea at the beginning, we are thinking to do a course like everyone, you know, doing bringing people in a room and do the teaching. Now we are going to do that only online, and I think I need to work on that, and we hope to be ready beginning of September.
Okay. Excellent, thank you. So beginning of September. And obviously people can follow your website for more updates on that.
Yeah, what you can do too, if you are interested to have the course, is you can go on the therapist page, and you can register you on the newsletter. And every month we try to send a newsletter about the study we show that prevent is better than just, it's not better, but it's another way to work to reduce the number of concussion. And we send a newsletter every month, and you can just register on this list.
Okay.
And when the Play Ready protocol will be ready for the therapist, you will be in touch.
Excellent, thank you very much. All right, any other questions? I'll give it another minute here, another second or two, and then we can wrap up. For those of you that are on, I will tell you that this session has been recorded so that you can go back and re-listen to it. So immediately following this session, I will be sending this out to Sylvain, and we'll be sending it out to you via your email that you used to register. So please feel free. It will be up for the weekend, and it'll be taken down on Monday so that I can have more space in the cloud to record the other webinars that are happening. So please feel free, between this afternoon and, Monday at noon, the video will be up and ready for you to watch. All right, so no other questions at this time that have come in, Sylvain. So again, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for all the wonderful work that you're doing to help protect our children and the athletes out there. I think this is just a fantastic program that you're doing. So I really appreciate that, and thanks for your time today.
If you have any question too, you can contact me on the website directly. There is all the information to contact me, and my email, if you want, it's sylvain@concussionheroes.com. And if you have any question, I will be happy to answer to you.
Wonderful. Thank you again so much. Have a wonderful day. We'll be talking to you soon.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Thank you now.